Difficult problem with the New Zealand Navy. The fact that 1/3 of ships have to lie ashore due to a shortage of sailors is said to have a significant impact on the operational capacity of the New Zealand Navy. Not a disaster. In a recent article, Defence News website said that out of a total of 9 ships of the New Zealand Navy, up to 3 are in idle period, including the offshore patrol boat HMNZS Otago, patrol boat HMNZS Hawaii, and most recently the offshore patrol boat HMNZS Wellington. We have lost vital flexibility and the ability to perform multiple operations simultaneously, admitted Rear Admiral David Proctor of the New Zealand Navy. According to Dr. Paul Buchanan, director of consulting firm 36th Parallel Assessments in Auckland, New Zealand, the shortage of sailors is a chronic problem for the New Zealand Navy. The fact that 1/3 of the ships have to lie on the shore comes from the decision to buy more ships for the Navy in recent years, even though the New Zealand government is fully aware of the shortage of sailors. They may see problems with recruiting and retaining human resources. But they also feel the need to protect their own exclusive economic zones, EEZs, and those of neighboring countries, so they have keep shopping, emphasized Dr. Buchanan. Meanwhile, Professor G.S. Robert Patman at the University of Otago, New Zealand, assessed that the New Zealand Navy's ships entering the idle period is a worrying development. Emphasizing that New Zealand has one of the largest EEZs in the world, there are quite a few marine resources that need to be protected. Professor Patman said that now is not the time for New Zealand to show that its maritime security capacity is waning. In addition to its waters, New Zealand has obligations to neighboring Pacific Island nations, which account for 60% of our foreign development aid, identified by generations of our governments as we are spending 1.5% of GDP on defense. If we spend more, we can make the Navy more capable than it is now, said Professor Patman. With Defense News. For his part, Rear Admiral Proctor considered the fact that 1/3 of the New Zealand Navy's ships had to be ashore not a disaster. He said some sailors of idle ships are transferred to other ships, while others take leave, attend training courses, or are assigned to navies of partner countries in other countries. Exchange Program. New Zealand Defence Force Commander Kevin Short even said that putting a ship in care and supervision mode would create conditions to strengthen human resources as well as better manage the effects of the ship. Of the shortage of manpower. Short-term solution. According to Defence News, by the end of November 2022, the number of the New Zealand Navy was 2,117 people. While the New Zealand Navy currently has a budget that can afford 2,230 men, Rear Admiral Proctor said the ideal force target for this force is around 2,340. He acknowledged that the New Zealand Navy often struggles with recruitment goals, partly because of the highly competitive labor market. Seafarers are being attracted to income levels that are significantly different from what we pay them. They are all capable sailors, highly disciplined, and they want the best for their families. If the external labor market can help their income increase, they will seize the opportunity even if they also want to serve the country, Rear Admiral Proctor said. Independent defense consultant Gordon Crane argues that wages are not necessarily the main cause of the current shortage of personnel in the New Zealand Navy. Mr. Crane said that many personnel of the New Zealand Navy, who were once deployed to manage isolation facilities during the COVID-19 pandemic, later decided to quit. They joined the Navy to operate at sea. However, during the epidemic, they were not allowed to work on ships. In some places, the sailors had very high morale, but in other places it was difficult. Get it, Rear Admiral Proctor also admitted. According to Rear Admiral Proctor, in order to retain the existing human resources, the New Zealand Navy is implementing a number of solutions, including focusing on welfare regimes such as increasing the number of vacation days for sailors who have more time deployed at sea more than 210 days a year, or increased wages for workers in a number of key areas. These are all short-term solutions to give us more time to find ways to address the core issues behind the shortage of manpower, Rear Admiral Proctor emphasized.